Hi, I would like to share this news article that was released yesterday. This was a study that was just done in Fukushima Daiichi Prefecture after a decade after this fucking nightmare. So what's going on here? They found new, large, and highly radioactive particles have been identified from among the fallout of the 2011 Fukushima Daiichi nuclear disaster in Japan. An international team of researchers has characterized the particles using nuclear forensic techniques, and their results shine further light on the nature of the accident while helping to inform cleanup and decommissioning effort. Yes, this year marks the 10th anniversary of Fukushima Daiichi disaster, which occurred as a result of the powerful earthquake that struck off Japan's east coast, generating a tsunami that reached 14 meters high. When it reached the nearby shoreline, breaching sea defenses, the water from the wave shut down emergency generators that were cooling the reactor cores. The result was a series of nuclear meltdowns, a hydrogen explosion that released a large amount of radioactive material into the surrounding environment, including microparticles rich in radioactive cesium that reached as far as Tokyo, 225 kilometers away. Recent studies have revealed that the fallout from reactor Unit 1 also included larger cesium-bearing particles, each greater than 300 microns in diameter, which have higher levels of activity in the order of 10 to the 5th becquerel per particle. These particles were found to have been deposited in a narrow zone stretching around 8 kilometers northwest of the reactor site. In their study, chemist and environmental scientist Satoshi Yusamiya of Japan's Kyushu University and colleagues have analyzed 31 of these particles, which were collected from the surface soil taken from roadside radioactive hotspots. We discovered a new type of radioactive particle, 3.9 kilometers northwest of the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant, which has the highest cesium-134 and 137 activity yet documented in Fukushima, which is between 10 to the 5th and 10 to the 6th becquerels per particle. Alongside the record-breaking radioactivity seen in scene 2 of the particles, 6.1 to the 10 to the 5th and 2.5 to 10 to the 6th becquerels after correction to the data. After correction to the date of the accident. The team also found that they had the characteristic compositions and textures that differed from previously seen in the reactor Unit 1 fallout. A combination of techniques, including synchrotron-based nanofocus X-ray analysis and transmission electron microscopy, indicated that one of the particles was found to be an aggregate of smaller silicate nanoparticles, each with glass-like structure. This is thought to be the remnants of the reactor building materials that were first damaged in the explosion, then picked up cesium that had been volatilized from the reactor fuel. The other particles had a glassy carbon core and a surface peppered with other microparticles in various compositions, which are thought to reflect a forensic snapshot of the particles that were airborne within the reactor 1 unit building. At the moment of the hydrogen explosion, the physiochemical phenomena that we are subjected to. Owing to their large size, of health effects of the new particles are likely limited to external radiation hazards during static contact with skin, explains Satomi, with the two record-breaking particles thought too large to be inhaled into the respiratory tract. However, the researchers note that further work is needed to determine the impact on the wildlife living around the Fukushima Daiichi facility, such as, for example, filter-feeding marine mollusks, which have previously been found susceptible to DNA damage and the necrosis on exposure to radioactive particles. The half-life of cesium-137 is around 30 years. Usatomiya continued adding, so the activity in the newly found highly radioactive particles has not yet decayed significantly. As such, they will remain radioactive in the environment for many decades to come, and this type of nanoparticle could occasionally still be found in radiation hotspots. Okay, almost done. Nuclear material corrosion expert Clara Corkill of the University of Sheffield, who was not involved in the study, says that the team have offered new insights into the event that unfurled during the accident. Although the two particles selected for the analysis were small, a mighty amount of chemical information was yielded, she said, noting that some of the boron isotopes the researchers have identified could only have come from the nuclear control rods damaged in the accident. The work is important to the ongoing cleanup of Fukushima, not only to the decontamination of the local area, but in defining a baseline understanding of the radioactive contamination surrounding the power plant, to ensure that any materials accidentally released during the fuel retrieval operations can be quickly identified and removed. She adds, with the study complete, the researchers are now using the particles to better understand conditions involved in the reactor meltdown, alongside looking quantify the distribution of the fallout across Fukushima, with a focus on identifying the resulting radiation hotspots. If we can find and remove these particles, we can efficiently lower the radiation dose in the local environment. Okie dokie. So this is a very new study, and it's what this study is actually saying is there's new radioactive particles that have never been even made by mankind before. They're saying they're too big because 300 microns is pretty big. They're pretty much invisible to your fucking eye, dude. It's pretty big time stuff. Obviously, they don't know the health effects of it, and for them to say it can't go through your skin is pretty insane. They obviously have never worked with this fucking element before, and all these are very toxic chemicals. But what this is really showing is that this is completely an ongoing fucking catastrophe that they have absolutely no control on. The radiations are still getting higher, and it's a fucking disaster, dude. I just fucking saw a video of pro surfer Kelly Slater standing next to President Obama and yipping it up on a fucking golf course, dude. Both those fucking morons show their fucking heads reared end, dude. What the fuck? They're gonna fucking pro surfers shaking hands with the guys who covered this fucking disaster up, dude. This is an ongoing disaster, and everyone wants to pretend like nothing's fucking going on. But this is ongoing, and it's fucking getting worse. It's not even getting better. There's fucking new radioactive elements that are fucking popping up because it's so fucking hot out there. This is beyond a crime against humanity, dude. This is going to have worldwide implications already, dude. It's been in the fucking atmosphere for fucking 10 years. It's been in the ocean for 10 years. It's been inside of our bone marrow for 10 years. This is no joke, man. And these fucking new elements, it just goes to show that this has never happened before, and they have no control over the situation. And honestly, I'm going to have to contact Ron Wyden again because I contacted Ron Wyden's office last week about the 10th anniversary of this fucking disaster. And now he was there. So he's going to have to get another phone call from me describing why he feels to zip his lips on the most important subject matter, period, bar none.